Welcome to the Wild West. I am here today to tell you a story. It's a super rainy day in Southern California. We don't get much of these days. It's a consistent rain, and I get excited when we have rainy days because we don't have many here where I live, and I just wanted to talk about it. It reminded me of a day in January of 2017 when a big deal happened for us and our family. It was January 22nd, 2017. It was a rainy day, much like today, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I did a few clips of the day and I just edited together a cozy little rainy day video. I thought we could make cookies. Motorcycle Man was watching football. Our good old loyal pal Max was cozied in from the rain. I just wanted to film it. Now, I have to say, I never edited it together. I never made a video, but I kept them. I saved the little clips, and I thought, man, wouldn't it be nice? I wasn't on YouTube then. I just like to make films, and I like to collect memories. I've done it since I've been a teenager. I love photographs. I love videos, and it's kind of like part of my DNA. So I was doing what I do, making little video clips, enjoying my rainy day. I came in and sat by Motorcycle Man to watch some of that football game, and all of a sudden we heard the most crazy sound I have ever heard. And it wasn't an accident sound, because we live right here off this busy street, and we often sadly witness, hear, and go out to rescue people who have been in car accidents. It wasn't that sound. It was a totally different sound that I had never heard in my life. It was like a kraken coming up through the earth and being like, bam! I mean, literally, we were like in shock. We looked at each other like, what was that? So we went to the backyard. We saw it. It didn't take much to not notice that the wall had fallen down into the street, and we were exposed for everyone to see. We're like, hello everybody, here we are. Also in shock as the mud like lava started to run down to the sidewalk. We went into action. We lived right next door to Mama and Papa Bear. They came over at the time. My brother-in-law was living there. He came over, and with all of their brute strength, the men came together and they pushed that fence back up into our yard, and they began to shovel some mud. And it was getting dark, and then city safety came by, and they said, I'm sorry this happened to you, but you have to have all this mud off this city sidewalk within, I think it was like 48 hours. It wasn't a lot of time. It was a Sunday when it happened, so Motorcycle Man took Monday off. Papa came back with his shovel on Monday. A neighbor down the street who we didn't even know came down with his shovel. Bless his soul and heart. They have since moved away out of that house, but he came to help. Our neighbor down the street drove by, saw the men at work, got them a big box of donuts, and that's the kind of little city we live in. It's a tiny city right off Los Angeles, not too far. It's a little suburb. We have about 48,000 population. I call it a little sleepy city. Not a lot of people know this city exists. It's tiny, it's quaint, it has a small town feel for being in Southern California, just outside of LA. And our neighbors are the best. They come together when we need them. And I would say this was a very, very strange moment in our lives. It was not a happy moment. It involved a lot of frustration with the city. A lot of money was involved that we didn't want to spend. And it was just so nice to see our little community come together and lift us up. And I think those are the things I like to focus on in times of great need, or when bad things happen. You see good people come out, and that was the good part of this story. So long story short, we had to build a new wall, and we couldn't build it the way we had it. We used to have a small retainer wall and then a wood fence, and that's what we wanted to do because it was more cost effective. However, the city said, nope, you can't do that. You can't do that unless you do this, blah, blah, blah. And we would have lost a lot of our yard because they would have made us put the fence way into our yard. They said the only thing we suggest and allow is building a block wall from bottom to top, and we are elevated, so it's a big wall. We had to have a very strong reinforced footing for it. We had to hire an architect. We had to hire a mason to build the block wall. The city had to approve the drawings. It was a process. It was literally almost a year later, the next January, when we began to rebuild this wall. So for like a whole year, we were exposed to the people. I mean, we had a little bit of privacy we created, but mostly it was like, you know, being on display. And I had a swimming pool. We had to drain a big above ground pool. I didn't swim that summer because it just felt too weird for everyone to see me swimming. And things were just, you know, a little weird for a year. And then we got that block wall built. And there was some frustration in all of this too, because our mama bear and papa bear lived next door. And when our wall fell, the city noticed their wall was slightly leaning. So the city told them, you have to tear down your wall and build a new wall. And we didn't get a 2-for-1. We did not. We spent thousands of dollars on this block wall that we didn't even want, but we had to have. We had to pick their block, a late 1950s, early 60s style with the gray and the salmon colored top piece. And then it has little outside where the street sees, it has random little salmon blocks, you know. That was the look back then when these houses were built around, I think they were built around 1958. So it was a lot for us, and it wasn't at all what we were expecting. But I thought, today is reminding me a little bit of that day. So why don't I dig up the archives, put a little video together that I never did, and share a little bit of that day, and then come back and show a little bit of the year later when they started building up that block wall. And it'll be a good little memory keeper for us and our family, and a story to share with you. I want to do a little pan of the wall so you can see how large it is. And until next time, peace, love, and keep going.